excited for this movie. Like for everyone to see this movie. You look so good in this movie as well. Like your
Thanks.
character is so fun, and your character is kind of a badass. Going through the moon falling and everything. But can you tell me a little bit about your character and the film? What in the film? What can we expect from your character?
I think Michelle is very brave. She cares about the people that she loves, and because she doesn't really have that many companies, like her parents are gone, she doesn't have the relatives and stuff. So she thinks that Fowler and Jimmy are her only family left, and then later on she met Charlie Sonny, and they developed this relationship between them. So she thinks that he's a really close friend now. So she decides to go save his life. Um, and what else? What's your what's your other question?
Well, your character is tasked with taking care of Jimmy and now Sunny too. You guys kind of have to take care of each other during your adventure, your part.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Michelle is far away from home, she's in a foreign country, she's an exchange student, and what's going through Michelle's mind during this moon essentially falling and destroying a disaster?
The funny thing is that when I shot this movie, the story wasn't like this. I wasn't an intern student at all. My parents died and I don't have anybody else left, and that's why I stayed at Fuller's house, because Fuller's my parents' only friend, not only friend but best friend. So that's why she took me in, and I stayed in her house, and became really close with them. So at that point, when this kind of thing happens, you just have no choice but to run, and the only person left is Jimmy that you have to take care of. And then you meet Charlie, who's a very handsome and attractive guy beside you and take care of you all the time, and talk to you about his stories, and his family and stuff. And you meet Brian and other people, and bad people too, all the things that you encountered. Then you gotta be falling in love with this guy, the only guy besides you, right? So yeah, that's when the story happens. So I just told you the whole story.
Don't worry, we'll make sure we'll edit well. If there's no spoilers though. Something that's not
Yeah.
you didn't reveal any spoilers, so I think it's safe because there's a lot of special effects though, and
Right.
and you have to pretend things are falling and you've seen the moon coming down. How difficult was it to act out all these dangerous things happening when you're just behind a green screen?
We Nothing happens, honestly. Like you only see the lights and
Oh,
points that you have to look at. But then you have the mountains are real, the trees and the snows that you can see. Other than that, all screens, all big, all blue and or green screens, like you said. Then you
yeah.
have to use your imaginations.
Yeah, because I was gonna say it must be difficult. It's like, oh, it's like the moon's parts are falling. It's like, oh, like you have to
Right,
be
you do have a guy
difficult.
that's shouting at you to tell you
Mhm.
the meteor is now coming, and look up, and we all look up. And then the next is the moon rising, then look up, then we all look up. That's our cue. Yeah.
Well, this is your first international film, and you're with Academy Award winner Holly
Yeah.
Berry. What was
Yes.
it like working with the iconic Holly Berry in this movie? And did she offer any advice?
Um, she didn't offer any advice because she thinks I'm really good.
Oh.
She thinks that I'm really professional. She thinks I'm 18 years old or 15. Funny that you mentioned that she wanted to give me this bottle of wine as a gift, but then she sort of just sneaked to me and says, "Kelly, let me ask you a question." I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Are you old enough to drink?" And I'm like, "I'm 30 years old. Come on." Of course I'm old enough to drink. And she's like, "What? I thought you like 17 or something, 15 or 17 or something." I'm like, "You look young too. Thank you."
Well, Holly Berry complimenting like that, that's like amazing to have
Yeah.
in like, but you know what? Also, moving forward to this film, going back to this film, you know, director Roland Emmerich is known for his disaster films. You know, with 2012, Independence Day, and The Day After Tomorrow. There's always a disaster. With Moonfall, the Earth is also dealing with a disaster. Do
Yes.
movies like this, with the Earth in peril, makes you think about potential disasters or and how to prepare for them?
You mean this is actually going to happen to us one day, maybe?
Well, something
Who
like
knows?
just disaster, like, you know,
Yes,
who knows, a
of
climate
course.
change and global disasters.
Yeah, especially
Think-
especially climate change, actually.
Yeah,
I think that's more, realistic than alien tech.
yeah.
Moon is actually alien
You
tech.
never know. You never
Uh,
know.
I think the moon is not. I don't know anymore. But
We won't say any spoilers, but yes, like, but
right,
does it make you ever think about potential disasters though? Like these kinds of films, like with the tsunamis and everything.
tsunamis. Yeah, of course, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Volcanoes,
Oh
maybe
yeah.
that. Yeah, so that makes me want to stay away from beaches. I don't know, man. I hope that never happens to us, right?
No, of course, yeah. But you know, and this is not a spoiler. We'll make sure we stay away from the spoilers. But your character has an inside joke in the film, where we've seen many times as Asian people. We've seen this, especially Chinese and Japanese. We see people with Chinese tattoos with the wrong symbol on them, with the wrong
Right,
characters. I was
right.
wondering, what's your personal opinion during that scene? Like, what was your
Jonas
when they
Brothers?
yeah, what was your thought when they had that scene where you're like, oh, Jonas Brothers? Like when you
Yeah,
what was your thought about that? Because we see it so often in real life.
right. So, about like Caucasians have no idea what their tattoos about, like the Chinese characters, because they
Yeah,
think it looks cool, like dragons and stuff, and but when you put two characters together, it means a completely different thing. Yeah, that happens a lot. I think
yeah,
it's fun, but you better ask somebody before you actually want to put it on your skin, right? Because it's permanent, like you can never take it off again. So
yeah,
maybe ask your Asian friends who actually know Mandarin or characters before you actually put it on.
yeah. Well, that scene made me laugh so hard because it's relatable seeing that. I've seen chicken noodle soup on someone's
Oh,
tattoo
really?
before. Yeah, so I was just like, I really appreciate that scene that you guys got to
Yeah.
do. But like another thing I wanted to know is that because it's a disaster film,
Mhm.
what would you take with you if you only had a few moments to leave, pack up and leave?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. Because I only had a backpack, if you noticed
Yeah.
the film, we only have one. I had one, Jimmy had one to carry the phone that he has with him. But other than that, my backpack was empty actually. If you
But what would
if you
you take? What would you take? What would
what would I
Kelly?
take? I guess at that point, computer would have no use. Phones would be dead.
Mhm.
What else would I take? Maybe food, my cat.
Oh yes, your cat.
Yeah, of course, my cat. But I have six of them. So which one would I carry? Like if I can only take one, that would be so difficult for me. Can't take them all.
Well, if it's a big backpack, you could. Okay, so last question. If you could
Okay.
describe the film with
Yeah.
one word, what would it be?
Why are you asking me all these difficult questions? One
Sorry,
word.
oh my god.
Oh my God. One word to describe this entire movie?
Well, just describe it. You don't want to tell audiences like to prepare for like a film like this. If you could
Okay,
describe the
epic.
movie, epic.
Right, epic, epic. Just go and see this epic movie.
That's a good word. Epic is.
Yeah.
So everyone should go see this epic film,
Yeah.
Moonfall, coming out soon. But so thank you so much. It is so great
Thank
seeing you.
you.
And I love how you looked in the film. You look gorgeous, and I'm obsessed with your
Thanks.
hair. In like I was like, oh, I want to cut my hair like that. Like, thank you so much.
You too. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Fanboys, professional artists, and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The hard knock life. Comics, movies, and TV. Yeah. Pop culture with a different perspective. hit play, so check this.